You could die tomorrow. It is very hard. I know it's very hard, but like you're just gonna accept that for the rest of your life. It's like, oh my God, you're freaking miserable. Both of you people are miserable. You don't have to be together. You don't have to be together. Or like, they're sweating.
EXFactor episode 19.
So 19 weeks straight or 18 weeks straight?
19 weeks straight.
That's not true.
This is the well, whatever, 17.
Okay.
We recorded 2 old ones. But listen, I'm so hungry right now.
I'm like, you want to stop? No. Let's open these drinks.
Let's
it's gonna
crack
feel
these
so
open.
Good.
Let's crack these. Dude, first of all, the design, beautiful. What?
You know what this looks like?
What?
You know when I put the 2 emojis with the mouth? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
2 eye emojis? That's what it looks like. Guava Ghost.
Guava Ghost 4.9.
It is a ale brewed with guava, coriander, and Himalayan salt.
Let's take it.
I don't like the salt part. Why does she taste like that? The guava's good, and then it's a little salty.
It is a little salty.
See, this is so cool. Drink creatively. 1 part craft beer, 1 part canvas. Collective Arts is a fusion of creativity featuring the talents of emerging artists through our global call for art. So you submit your art through them. They had a bunch of them. And it says like
so
Collective Arts.
the face is different.
No. It wasn't just it's like anything. The art, like the cover of the beer. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
There's a bunch that are called Collective Arts, and then it just has the name of the beer, but then they all have different art on them.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that's so freaking cool.
That is cool. That is cool. I love it. It's tasty. All right, so listen, I'm just gonna get right into it.
What? Are you gonna attack me again?
No.
Okay.
Dang, the trauma's jumping out.
Well, it is because you just save everything you're mad about for Tuesday nights, and then you're like, let's talk about it.
I want to talk about arguments.
Okay.
No, not arguments.
Not our arguments?
No, not our arguments. I just want to talk about, I wrote down 3 things that I think are very important to remember in arguments. And the third one is very like controversial in my opinion.
Okay. Let's see.
Goes against what I've heard a lot, but I just think otherwise. Anyways, the first thing is this.
Before
go ahead.
you start, do you think I'm going to agree or disagree with these? I'm just curious.
You're going to agree with them.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So the first one is this. Mm-hmm. As easy as it is to say something impulsive in an argument, almost every impulsive thought that you have, you can't say. So for instance, I've been in an argument recently and immediately like I could win this argument with saying some gnarly things.
He's like, I could go for the jugular right now. We can be done.
And honestly, in the moment, it made so much sense to say.
It feels
you know what I mean?
so good. It feels so good.
You know what I mean? But like,
yeah.
I was just like this argument was so heated that I was like literally shaking, and it was in person too, right? But I was literally shaking, and I had to look away for a little bit and just like literally compose myself. And I realized that I would say like 9 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 times when you don't say the impulsive thing you wanted to say, the next day or the next 2 days or whatever, when you're reflecting on it, you're again 10 out of 10 times you're probably glad that you didn't say the impulsive thing.
Okay, but when you're saying impulsive, you mean like something like just a dig or like a snap, like a stab or something, right?
That you could potentially regret saying. Yes, a dig or a stab, or maybe it's even a situation that right now is probably not the best time to bring it up.
Right. Okay. So you're talking about something that like you're saying to intentionally get some sort of emotional response out of the person, or you might even actually feel that way. It's just like not the right way to bring it up.
Right. Exactly.
Okay.
Because I don't think I would be technically.
It, though, and you feel it in the moment. Like, you know, this is something you shouldn't say.
Yes,
so
exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
And the thing is, shouldn't is subjective, because like honestly on paper, if I had said that thing, I don't think it would have been a bad, like I wouldn't have been in the wrong.
You feel right, like you feel truthful about it. It's
right.
just like not the time or the place to bring it up.
Right. Exactly.
And it'll make that person just feel worse, which will give you a little bit of satisfaction in the moment. But like, yes, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So keep the impulsivity down.
Yes. Impulsivity. Is that a word?
It is now.
Do you agree with that first one? Yes or no?
Yeah, for sure. And that was something I quickly grew out of. Like, for the most part, I really don't do that. I like super, super hold back. I think the only person that I ever get like close to doing that with is like my sisters.
Right.
Because other people, no, nothing.
And the thing is, in a healthy relationship, not relationship, but you know what I mean? Like a healthy.
Any relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
You should be like, the way I was thinking about it, I was like, I want to bring this up, but if if it's really worth it, I'll be able to bring it up later on.
Right.
So you can always bring something up later on, right? Even if the argument's done and sealed, like if you say, hey, I was thinking about this and I wanted to share it, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think, again, most of the time, like when we're talking about most impulsive statements, a lot of them are like intentionally they're going to hurt they're going to hurt the person. So more often than not, that's the case. Not really the case of like, it's a valid point, but like maybe they'll be hurt just like, even though it's a valid point.
Right. This is something that I do often. So the second thing that I think is important for arguments, something I do often is like, it's totally okay to pause for a second and reset the tone of the argument. Because any arguments, right? It can build and build and people getting mad. People will start talking over each other.
Yeah.
And so something else I did in this recent argument, it was really, I just like took a breath. I said, okay, hold on. I said, let's just restart it. We're getting agitated.
Yeah.
All right, let's just restart it. And it's completely fine to do. Sometimes I'll say it verbally, but then sometimes I'll just be like, tell that to myself. I'll be like, listen,
calm down.
You're not being productive right now.
Yeah.
You're being emotional and whatever. And then restart it. Totally okay to do. Right?
I do agree. I just don't think, I think that for something like, yeah, I mean, if it's getting out of hand for sure, but I think a little bit of like friction, a little bit of heated, maybe a little bit of raised voices, like I don't necessarily think is the worst thing.
For
like,
sure.
I don't think, I personally could not be in an argument where like, this is the argument. Okay, well then this made me feel like this. It's like, no, like that's just not realistic to me.
Right.
Like, I don't want that. However, you're right. Like if it's getting out of hand, both people should be able to be like, okay, hold on. And then let's keep going. You can still be intense and like not aggressive, but like or aggressive about it. You can still be intense and aggressive about it without being like just completely out of hand.
Yeah, well, I think just disagreements in general. A lot of conversations start with like a slight disagreement, and then it starts building and building. Like I've had conversations about this with like family specifically, right?
Yeah.
Where I'm just sitting down talking, and we have a disagreeing point, and then all of a sudden we're like getting heated, and I'm like, wait, this didn't start off aggressive. Like it literally started off fine to disagree, right? So let's restart.
I think that usually happens when there's an other underlying factor. You're not arguing about the thing you're arguing about.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you agree with that point or not? So if you were in an argument and someone was like,
for
all right,
sure.
hold on.
Getting a check. Yeah. If you did that too many times though, it'd be hella irritating.
Well, for sure.
Especially if it was like during my time of talking, I'd be like, all right, buddy, like.
Right. All the time would be frustrating. But I find that when I bring it up, I'm talking to myself just as much as the other person.
Yeah,
it's just gotten out of hand.
For sure. No. Like I said, it's just like you just got to find the balance of that, and I feel like you're smart enough to like find the balance of that.
Right. And again, also just so you know too, like I said, it's not always I don't verbalize it. I literally just like check in with myself, and I'm like, just chill. You'll be a lot happier. It ties in with the first one. You'll be a lot happier tomorrow if you just chill right now.
I feel like you're also not the type to really escalate it too much, though. I feel like it's usually the other person that's gonna escalate it. I feel like you're pretty like.
Yeah.
You're a peacekeeper. Like you're very much like, all right, chill out.
Yeah, that makes sense. The
third one?
Okay, the third one is not typical. I might be wrong about this. You know how they say that to never go to sleep angry?
I think it's fine. I think it's fine.
You think it's fine in a petty way, or do you think that it could be healthy to do that?
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not in a petty way. It's just like sometimes it's just not realistic, and like you should be okay with being angry at the other person for a while. And I guess I'm talking more about romantic relationships right now. Actually, no, I'm talking about any relationships. Like, but they usually say that about like romantic relationships.
I guess they do usually say that.
Yeah, but it's like that's so unrealistic, right? Like, why do you have to fix it before you go to bed? Like, you can still love each other and be okay. Like, it should not affect your relationship when you're angry at each other. Does that make sense? Like,
right.
I don't know. And also it is unrealistic. Like, what if this is a big problem, or what if this is something that like is going to take some time for you guys to think about to fix or whatever? Like, are you just going to pretend everything's okay, kiss and make up and like go to bed? It's going to come up again later. Like if you're and also like realistically, what if you have work in the morning, things like that? Like I personally, if I have things to do in the morning, I'm not even present in this argument. Like all I'm thinking about is like how much later it's getting, and like how stressed I am going to be tomorrow and how terrible I'm going to feel tomorrow, which makes me more anxious and more angry in the moment. So like, no, I totally think you can go to bed angry. I think it's unrealistic to expect that you don't.
Right.
Not for everyone.
I think the message is like just to like not dwell on it and not to just.
Well, okay. Can I make an amendment to my statement? That does not mean give the other person the cold shoulder for 3 freaking days. Hold on to it for a week. That's not it at all. It's just like let's pick this up tomorrow. Like, I'm really exhausted. Love you. Good night.
So I also had like a footnote because I also agree that you should be able to go to sleep. And because honestly, again, rest is very important for your mental state and everything. So you could wake up the next morning and be like, that was so dumb that I got mad or
100%.
whatever, you know?
Or just like it takes you some time to cool off. Like, I'm not really like that. But I do know people that are like that. That they're like in the moment, for whatever reason, they were tired, they were hungry, they were stressed, they were whatever. A day passes and they're like, you know what? Like, that was so dumb. I'm sorry I was out of line. Like, I really don't care. Or like, or you just change your mind. Like, people are allowed to change their mind just because you thought this way in the beginning. You took some time to think about it. Now you don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But something that's very important too is it's very important to not prolong things. Because as corny as it is, like, you really don't know when day's your last day, what day's their last day. I had a friend, this was like probably almost a year ago, and she lives out of town, and she got in an argument with her mom, and she literally said, she was like, I'm not going to talk to her. Like, I'm literally not going to talk to her for the rest of my time here, which wasn't that long. It was like 2 more days. But she's like, and then I'm going to go back home, fly back home, and like, I just don't want to deal with it right now. And I didn't say anything in the moment, but I was thinking about it. Like, I just said it was a year ago, and I'm thinking about it now, and I'm like, dude, I should have totally told her, been like, listen,
tomorrow's not promised.
Yes, exactly. And especially if you don't even live in town. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't, like, how horrible would you feel if something happened and you're like, well, I can never have that closure or whatever.
For sure. I think it's really important that, like, no matter who you're dealing with, like, you have to think about what if this person leaves my side and I never see them again. Like, so yeah, I agree. And again, for me, the biggest thing is like holding grudges. Like, I really think that you are emotionally immature if you can still hold a grudge. There are some things you can hold a grudge about that, like, or like if it's not very common for you to hold a grudge and you really like, you feel it and you remember it, but like you don't really act on it, I think it's fine. Like, there is one grudge in my life that I hold, and you know it, and I'm not going to say it on the podcast because it's not necessary.
I don't remember it now, but I probably do know
this part out.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's not specifically, but and can literally like die.
We have to talk about this for real because I joke about this all the time.
Oh no, that is the one grudge I hold.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, it's very like
There's been so many bleeping right now.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Anyways, it can seem petty, but like it deeply did something to me, which is why like I will never forget it, kind of thing. But I don't act on it, right? You know, I don't act on it. Like, I see this person, everything's fine. Like, nobody, whatever. For the most part. But I'm just saying, like, if you hold a grudge every time anybody does anything bad to you, you better be perfect. You better be if you're mad at someone in a relationship for something that's like I'm not talking big deals. I'm talking about like things that like are easily resolvable. You better be perfect. I mean, like Angel. So,
I mean, we're getting deep this episode, but like another thing I've been thinking about a lot recently is that if you really think about it, I feel like most people that I know and most people in general are not happy with their situation that
Their couple? No, that is exactly what it is. I'll say it.
No. What I was gonna say is like not happy with where they're at in life in general. Whether that's relationship, whether that's financial situation.
I feel like a big part of it is relationships, and nobody wants to talk about it. I'll talk about it.
Okay.
I'll talk about it. It's so dumb. It's like you could die tomorrow. It is very hard. I know it's very hard, but like, you're just gonna accept that for the rest of your life. It's like, oh my God, you're freaking miserable. Both of you people are miserable. You don't have to be together. You don't have to be together. Or like, they're sweating. I just think like, I think at a certain point, and this is something I had to accept myself, because everybody's like, everybody's not a victim of it. Everybody's guilty of it. Everybody's guilty of it. You have to accept that you have a personal level of responsibility for your happiness. Nobody else can make you happy. Nobody can fix your life.
A certain level. You have a 100% responsibility over your happiness.
You have responsibility over your happiness. So if you are consistently unhappy, or if you are consistently in a situation where like someone is treating you poorly, or if you are consistently in a situation where the same thing is happening to you over and over again, that is on you at a certain point.
Dude, I saw a video. I wish I could quote it better, but it was Will Smith talking about his relationship.
Yeah.
Didn't age well, huh? But no.
I'm like, yikes. Okay. No, I know.
He was like something, and this was years ago, but this is one of my favorite like videos and quotes I've ever seen. He was like, something that me and Jada talked about in the beginning of our marriage, or relationship, or whatever it was that I can make you laugh. I can make you smile. I can buy things for you. I can do favors for you. I can show you all the acts of kindness.
Yeah.
But I cannot make you happy.
Absolutely.
Can't do it. That's on you. And it's literally like a holding each other accountable thing.
It is. No, it is. And that's another thing. Like, you can like add to happiness in certain ways. Like, I think that like, but I don't think that you can make someone happy. Like, you need to know who you are by yourself. You need to be happy by yourself in order to be fulfilled in a relationship and also be in the relationship that you want to be. I saw Bert Kreischer actually in a podcast today, which is the weirdest thing.
Relationship advice from
I know.
Bert Kreischer.
No, you would think. No. He was brilliant. Everything he said was brilliant. He's literally like, he was just basically like, he's been with his wife for like what 20 years, something like that. Love of his life. He always talks about it. He's just like, this person, like, he messed up, she broke up with him. And he literally was like, he was like, God, please give me this chick back. He was like, I will not fuck it up. Like, I will do anything. I will be like, I just want to make her happy. Like, this person, he just like knew or whatever. And he went on some hike and he was like talking to God or whatever. And he came home and she was like in his room. Like, she had walked into his apartment, whatever. He didn't even know. And he was like, shit, God's real. Like, but no, basically he was just like saying that like, surprisingly, like, he didn't really date around. He didn't really like, he was a party animal. That's what he was known for at FSU, but he didn't really like sleep around or anything.
He went to FSU?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
He's a king. Yeah. Yeah. Tally King. He was a party animal. That's how he got famous. He got interviewed by, I cannot remember who. I want to say it was Rolling Stones, but I could be totally wrong. But he got interviewed by someone just because they were like trying to find the biggest party animal, and he was called the Machine.
Yeah. I heard about this.
Yeah. So he's freaking phenomenal, crazy man. And basically he was like, I will not, he didn't really sleep around. He was just always like, I know that like if I focus on myself and who I am, it will just work. It will just work or it won't. Like, you cannot force it. And like, that is just the best advice like ever. Like, just not forcing something, I think, is the best advice ever.
And I feel like, especially people around our age, we feel this pressure now. We're 25, right?
Yes.
And so like people feel this pressure because we are the amount of, and I see videos about this all the time. Like, there are some people that are our age that are married with kids, that have a career,
Multiple
all this
kids.
stuff. Yeah. Multiple kids. And then there's some people our age that are in and out of jail.
Yes.
Like, with no family and no relationship in sight.
Right.
There's just the spectrum is so wide for our age. And I saw a video recently that was saying that like women like have a biological clock, right? So they for having kids and a mate, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Men, I saw a video in this video they said that, see, I'm hungry and this is not,
he's wasted, you guys. Every episode.
Men have Steve Harvey was saying this, they have a financial clock. So at a certain age, I would think around ours, if
Did we talk about this last episode?
No, we texted about it briefly.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, I told you and Jamie on FaceTime.
I can never know. I'm like, did we already talk about this? Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No. It's like men have a financial clock. So like at this age, mid-20s, it's like if we don't have our stuff figured out, we think we're on some kind of deadline and some kind of timeline, right? Because when we get older, we're not going to be as mentally and physically in shape to make a certain amount of money or whatever, right? So there's just such pressures on both ends of like where you should be in life.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, so spread out. And I think that a lot of people also don't give yourself credit for how far this sounds so corny and so cheesy, but like how far you've come, right?
No,
I was talking to a friend recently and she was like, I want to do all these things. I feel unhappy in this situation.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, look real quick, just look around. Yeah. I was like, you literally, I don't want to give too many specifics about the person, but like, I was like,
I'm curious. I'm like, oh.
But I was like, you have, no, I was like, as far as your career, it's super solid. As far as your relationship life, super solid and successful. Be in anyone's eyes, it would be successful.
Right.
As far as your like this person has purchased a house, but like has a house and everything. So I'm like, in every like stereotypical view of success,
check.
Right. Yeah. You have an incredible degree. You went to college for 4 years and got this like super hard degree and you did it, right? So yes, you look at your life and you're like, oh, I want to travel more. I want to do this. I want to do that. But think about what you've already done, which is majority more than like so many other people have done at this point.
I also think that it's very important to remember that we are so young. Mm-hmm. Like, we are so freaking young.
Yeah.
Like, I think people think that 30s, your life is over. And I just don't understand where that comes from.
Yeah.
Because it is not. It is just the beginning. Like, we are so freaking
And you know what's so funny? I know if there's older people watching, they'll be like, oh, 30s is the best. But no, you thought that back then.
No,
just because you're older now, you know what I mean? What I'm saying is like your perception of age
Yeah.
constantly changes. So like, again, even if you're like, like, oh, like 30 is so young. It's like, no, at one point you thought it
You
wasn't.
also thought
It's
it was
all
old,
about perception.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I know. I also think that like some people, I don't want to say a lot or most, whatever, but some people are just super hard on themselves. I know I'm that type of person. I'm like, holy crap, I'm so behind in life. And I know that that's absolutely absurd. Like, and like, if anybody that was in my position told me that, I would literally be like, you're insane. But it just, when you're hard on yourself, like you're hard on yourself. You can't really change
Well, this
that.
is something I told you too recently. I was like,
You did,
you think about like so many different things that you want to do, but I'm like, bro, you literally majored in one of the hardest majors, one of the most highest paying major or industry or whatever, and you got a job by yourself as a woman in computer science and freaking software. Like, that's crazy, right? And sometimes in your life, you're used to that. You're like, okay, everyone around you, all your peers, as far as like coworkers and stuff, are in the same position as you, so you don't think it's special.
Right.
But
like,
then you
that's
don't
my
realize
daily
that like there's people that like are dreamed that they wish they would have done computer science when they were
James
younger.
has called me twice today already and texted me.
Yeah, him, for instance, he was like,
he
looks at your job and he's like, that is a dream job.
I know.
Right? And you're like, I hate it every day, but you don't realize that people literally would kill for a position
I
to be.
actually don't hate it, but
But everyone always, again, when you first got it, it was like the best thing in the world, and now you're desensitized to it. So you're like, okay, I'm looking forward to
the next thing, which is good. Like, you should be like motivated, but just don't be hard on yourself and be like, I'm a piece of shit, I haven't done anything. It's like, no, calm down. Like,
I talk about this too when I'm telling people to make content as well, like social media content, because
it's never gonna be perfect. Is that what you're gonna say?
Sort of. Okay. I'm about to say like like your life is normal and it might seem mundane to you, but to everyone else that doesn't experience what you experience every single day, it's like fascinating. I have a friend, for instance, who like he works at Gatorland, so he's like with all these gators and reptiles all the time. Cool. And he's like, and I'm like, bro, make a video with. We've had this conversation a long time ago, but I was like, bro, make a video with a tarantula, and he's like, bro, it's just a tarantula. And I'm like, do you realize that like that's your right? I was like, that's your everyday thing. But if I ever held, hold on. And I told him, I was like, that's your everyday life. But if I ever held a tarantula in my hands, I'd be freaking out. And he's like, wait, really? And I'm like, exactly. Like, people that even do like stuff that you would think is so normal. I don't know, like even like play basketball or crochet or just some things that are like somewhat common. Yeah. Majority of other people don't know anything about that subject. It's fascinating.
I have a question for you.
What?
What is something that you would just never do? I have two off the top of my head right now. Number one, never hold a tarantula. I'm so okay never experiencing that ever in my life. Never in my life.
Why?
Ew, bro.
Yeah, ew. It's uncomfortable. Guess what else is ew? Thinking about jumping out of a plane.
That is actually the second thing. Thank you. Thank you. That is the second thing. I will never skydive. I don't need to do that.
That's just so ridiculous. Well, first of all, let me say this. A lot of people say, oh, when you skydive, it's like life changing. It's like, it's magnificent and you just have to do it at least once.
Right.
Like, no, I've been once and I'm telling you, you do not have to do it. Like, it was not life changing to me at all. It was cool. It's a cool experience, but I'm not going to sit here and be like, no, you have to at least once. No, you don't.
You know what? You're desensitized from Minecraft. Because you jump off the freaking craters or whatever.
That's so similar.
I'm not even kidding. This is how much I hate heights. Jumping off the cliffs in Minecraft, I'm like, I hate it.
Well, that's why you should do it.
No.
Okay.
Those are the two things I would never do.
Didn't you say, we had a podcast, I think it was with Alex, and you were like, there are very little things I would say no to.
Yeah, those are the two.
Are you proud that like that's your personality trait?
I'm quirky and different.
I'll never jump out.
I will never.
It's just not worth it for me.
That's why, you know what, I'll always like never. How was I gonna say this? You know what everyone uses in Never Have I Ever? Never have I ever skydived.
Yeah.
Cut that out. Cut all of it out. It's the stupidest thought that's ever come out of my freaking mouth. Anyway.
What? So you're just glad? You're just like, just for the sake of never have I ever. Let me not do this.
I gotta save one, bro. I gotta save one. Oh my God. Anyway. Yeah. What would you never do? Nothing. Never say never.
I would never say no to anything. Especially food and liking food. I would never. I'm gonna like every food.
I'm bringing ketchup out.
I didn't even have this in my topics, but dude, you know how Netflix you can't log into other people's Netflix.
Yeah, it's the dumbest bullshit.
Right. So and then people on TikTok were like, oh, like everyone like, you know, don't buy their subscription. They were trying to like boycott it kind of, but they were like, you know, I think
it'll naturally happen.
It was one way for a year. or a year, forever, and now it's changed, right?
I
So it's kind of
genuinely think
frustrating,
it's
right?
going to naturally happen. Like people, the more and more that these other streaming services are advancing, the more and more Netflix sucks, and the more people are going to be like, the competition is just going to get better and better.
Well, for sure, but
not saying it'll die
Netflix
out.
is like right now. Why I don't know about all like the numbers. Maybe Disney Plus is on top. I don't know. Whatever.
HBO Max is killing it.
Yeah.
Their
Either
originals are amazing.
either way, what they wanted, obviously Netflix, was to make more money and have people sign accounts, and everyone was like against it. It was like, no, their users
Soul
are gonna go
sucker.
down. It's gonna do this. It went up so much. I don't know the exact numbers, but like since they changed that, they've like a ton more people have.
They were like,
have,
bet. All right.
yeah.
Leave. Where are you going to
Yes,
go?
exactly. And that is a freaking good product, bro. Like something that you can change anything. Like you can just make
You just want to manipulate people. You just want to use people. You're like, they're not going to go anywhere.
dude, if you have a good product, like that's what matters.
It's not that good of a product right
Netflix. Dude, what do you say? Like, oh, bro, Netflix and chill. Like the most.
I know. But it's because it was the first one. But their originals are objectively not as good as HBO Max's. Also,
Well,
Apple TV has amazing originals,
What?
but they don't even, I don't know how it works. They don't market them like at all. They have really good shows on Apple TV, but they don't market them at all.
do.
And I'm like, where the freak is the... They just market
I
on
think
Apple
of-
TV. Everyone who already has Apple TV sees it. What are you doing?
I was like,
Who are you signing to?
No, I was like two shows that I'm
like,
thinking
help.
of, or one. I don't even think you could see that on camera. Oh, you could, yeah.
This? Oh, that?
Um,
I don't know, Rena. I don't know. You've never seen this?
no.
It's like the sign that like you're like the international sign for I'm being kidnapped. It's like help me.
No.
Rena does it all the time. That's how I know it.
I've only ever watched two things on Apple
TV. Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso, of course, which is like
Classic.
a lot more people love it than I thought. Because again, I don't see it. Well, actually,
No,
I do
Ted
see
Lasso
low-key
has
Ted
been talked
Lasso
about.
merch and stuff. Not talked about. I'm talking about marketed.
Oh, I have a Ted Lasso energy drink on my book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah. And then this is like not even popular. The Billie Eilish documentary was really good, but it was also
I
on
haven't
Apple
seen
TV.
that. Two really good shows. One is I've heard. I haven't seen this one. Silo.
Okay.
It's like
I've
City
heard a
of
lot
Ember.
about it. Yeah.
City of Ember vibes. Did you ever see City of Ember? It's really, really good. The other one is called Foundation. Foundation is was originally a book written by what they say like the grandfather of sci-fi, Isaac Asimov.
Okay.
It's a really
Isaac.
How do you say it?
Isaac.
Dude, I hate when this happens. It's so embarrassing. Anyway, Isaac Asimov. I knew it was Isaac.
Bro doesn't
I
read
would
the
say
Bible.
cut that out,
but
I read the Albanian Bible. You wouldn't know. So, anyways, he basically the premise of it is just that like they use math to like predict the future. It's really freaking cool. But
that's
anyway,
cool. Real quick. Did you say HBO has better originals than Netflix?
I did.
Game of Thrones. What else?
Last of Us. I can name more if I really think.
Last of Us.
You are a Walking Dead fanatic.
No. But I'm just saying, The Last of Us was literally the game is more emotional than the show, which is interesting actually. So basically, I watched the. This is such old topic. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. Whatever. We'll argue about
Actually,
this later.
whatever. This is kind
we'll
of
argue about this
it is
off.
kind of interesting though because I watched The Last of Us, the show first. Never played the game. Vaughn played the game. So afterwards, when we watched the show, or after we watched the show, he would put on like YouTube like the clips of the scenes that we just saw. And honestly, in the video game, I got more emotional. Like seeing those clips and those cut scenes from the video game got more emotional than the live action like show.
Yeah.
And I think the only thing I can think of is that like maybe psychologically, like I'm used to seeing emotional TV shows, like real people. I'm used to seeing them have emotions. So then when I look at the video game like animated thing, my brain is like not used to seeing it.
So I was actually finish your point actually before I interrupt you.
I just think like animated things being sad, I'm not used to seeing. So
Okay,
that's why.
so that's so interesting that this topic, I think about this a lot. So I feel like I need to play a video game like start to end that has like a story. Like that's why I kind of started God of War, but I'm just so garbage at video games that like I can't even pass the first freaking fight scene.
Yeah.
Because people talk about video games, they're like, oh, I cried in this video game. I cried in this video game. And I'm like, I can't even comprehend that. Then I think about how there's people. What?
Are you talking about anime?
No.
Because I can't. People are
You
like
can.
anime is like
No, you
can't.
can't.
Cry so much.
You can't.
Why is that different in your head than a video game? It's the same thing. If not, it's not more because you're embodying the character and you're playing as them, so you can relate to them more.
Right. Okay. It's not all animes. Like I haven't seen a lot, but like Attack on Titan makes me feel emotions. But I think it's because it's more realistic look. Like when the drawings are more realistic. Like when I saw The Last of Us, I'm like, that looks fake. Like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe
it's a story, bro. It's the same thing as freaking.
I'm just saying I have never experienced it. And then my question is, I know that there's people out there that are like, I've never cried from a book, which is mind blowing to me. Have you ever cried? From a book?
I think those people just don't read. They're like, I don't read books. That's why.
Well, I know. I feel like that's a lot of people though.
Yeah.
And also there are people that read books and it's like they never get into it. Like they like read a chapter every 3 months or they have to in school or whatever. You're not gonna cry in class, you know. Right. But like my mom told me a story today. Actually, I'm very excited to share it. It's absolutely like useless. Nobody needs to know it, but it just made me so like I really have always been the same. Like, so basically she told me that when we went from, cause we lived in Albania for a few years and then we moved back to Kosovo because of the war situation, whatever. And my mom put me in, pre-K in Kosovo and Donna was also in pre-K with me. And she asked me, like, she was like, hey, like, how was pre-K, whatever. And I was like, they don't have books. Like, I can't read books. Pre-K. I'm like 4 or 5. And I was like, I can't read. Like, they're not here. And then my mom was like, the next day, like I came in and I was like so excited. I was like, there was books. Like they were just like too high up. Like I couldn't see them. Like I asked someone for them and they came down. Anyway, I thought that was adorable. I was so adorable.
That's so adorable, yeah.
Isn't that so cute? But I realized, I was like, I've been reading books like deeply and like been so emotional about books and cried. I remember like the saddest book I've ever read was in like 3rd grade. It was definitely not for 3rd grade material. Shouldn't have been reading that. 3rd grade, probably like super traumatizing. But I just like the one thing that I haven't really felt from books is scared. I've never read like a horror book. So I want to start reading like Stephen King books.
What was like the popular one with the mini stories?
Oh, that? Okay, I take it back. I guess I was
so
scared.
Scary.
The freaking I think about
stories from that book, those books. What's it called?
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Is
yes,
that it? Okay,
yes,
but
yes.
There was another one. Or was it that one? Which one's the one where the girl took her ribbon off? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
She had a ribbon around her neck. She would always wear it. Blah, 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 blah. Then she like one day her husband untied it and her head rolled off. Oh my God. It might be Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, but it might be another one that's like very similar that was also very popular. Yeah. Then there was like a thumb one or like a toe.
I remember that kind of.
Stupid.
The one I always think about, I don't know why, there's this girl like, and this is because it's like a real thing. Like there's this girl like driving home at night and
saw someone or whatever?
Close. Well, there was a truck behind her and then it was like following her and then the lights would go on and then lights would go off, lights would go on and she was like, what the heck? She sped up, the truck sped up, she took this road and then she called the cops and was like, hey, like someone's following me and like flashing me with their lights, Cops came and found out there was someone in her back seat.
And every time he was gonna like stab her.
Yeah.
I used to think about that all the time. Dude, I'd be checking my back seat like I'm trying to surprise someone. I'm like, I look back there like.
Dude, so
I get so nervous. Yeah. No, but I really like, I want to try horror. I have such a huge to be read list and like I'm going to geek out for a second. One of the ones that I like, one of the books that is on my to be read list is called Tenders the Flesh. It is a scary one, like it's horror kind of disturbing, actually not horror, but it's just like super disturbing apparently. And the premise is that there was some virus. This is like a book talk recommendation, but there was a virus that like made all the animals inedible, so they bred humans for consumption.
Oh my gosh!
Isn't that so disturbing and disgusting?
Yeah.
I want to read it. I just want to know. I want to be like thoroughly disturbed by a book, and I feel like I haven't. I've been like disturbed in the way
I'm
trauma,
disturbed by some movies, bro. Like the Saw movies. I'm like the writers for that movie have something wrong.
Something is wrong with you. No,
Definitely.
You know what it is? It's all the intrusive thoughts that everyone else feels. They're just paid to act on them.
They also like embrace them because again, my intrusive thoughts are some are crazy.
Yeah.
But some of the things that they cut, like they just like stew in there.
Okay, but do you know what I do when it comes to like movies like that? Like, okay, what? Human Centipede, the most disgusting thing. I will never. That's actually my 3rd never. I will never watch that movie.
Oh.
And that.
Wait, you never watched it?
Never seen it.
I've never seen it either, but anyways.
It is so disturbing. Do you know what it's about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Disgusting. So what I do with movies like that and Saw, which I've seen some of the Saw movies, but not all of them, is I go on Wikipedia and I read the full plot. And so like That's a tip for our viewers. If you want to freaking know, I mean, I don't know who would want to know that, but I just like sometimes I don't want to watch that gory shit. Like I just
you know what's weird? You know the stuff that like so obviously like normal shows and like stuff like you see people get shot and things like that. What makes me weirdly like squirmish because obviously again you see it on TV all the time. So when you see like a murder scene on TV, unless it's like those crazy weird movies, you don't really feel anything, right? Like like whatever.
All right, they died.
Yeah. But you know what? Like always. Like gets me in my gut every time, even if it's like a subtle like thing. When someone, it's like even talking about it is weird. I don't know why. When someone like gets shot or something in a movie and then says something that's like their life has changed. Like for instance, like in The Last of Us, and he was like a younger guy, like a teenager got shot, and he's like, I can't move my legs. And for some reason, just the thought of like, yes, this person's life is forever changed. Or if someone gets shot and they're like, why'd you do that? It's like it's like
oh, that's like super emotional. It's like shoot, yeah,
like,
I get
dude,
that.
this is a really real thing that happens, and this person is either dead or changed for the rest of their life. And like I think just them saying that makes it more real for me. Than I'm like it's gross. I physically get like,
dude, okay,
wheezy.
Yeah, that's fine seeing it in movies. When I was volunteering in the ER center in the trauma unit,
oh, that's a whole other thing,
dude. And this is just volunteering. I'm just passing out snack boxes. Like I'm not even nothing serious. You see it on TV, you know it happens. It is entirely different when you're just like
yeah.
I saw this woman come in once and I had to like deliver a snack box to a certain room. It wasn't even a room, it was the trauma unit, so like it was just like beds basically. And she walked in to be a visitor for someone that in that unit, and she had blood all over her. And it was his freaking blood. He got in a fight. It was like some knife fight, whatever. Like he was gonna be fine, like, but he was just messed up. Just seeing it though, I was like, this is wild. But anyway, that was super dark. But
no, I mean like I like it.
Have you?
You would think you're desensitized to it, but then when you see it, it's not. Like I've literally.
It's good that you're not desensitized to it. Like I do think people are a little bit too freaking desensitized to things.
I saw like the worst car accident I've seen right in front of me. I was at an intersection and just like they collided. The car behind me immediately when it happened jumped out and ran to go help them. I was stuck. Like I was in shock. I was like, there was nothing I could do. I called 911 like almost immediately. But like there was 0% chance my legs would move and like get me to go help them.
I think I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I was a lifeguard. I don't know. One time we were on the way to EDC 2 years ago, and we saw a man on the ground in the middle of the freaking intersection on Orange, right over there, like middle of the intersection. So I'm like, pull the car over. And I run out of the car and I run over to him and I'm like, I'm running over. There's people just looking at this man on the ground. He was clearly hit by a car. And I was like, is he breathing? I was like, hello. I was like, has anyone checked? Is that man breathing? Like, is he breathing? They were like, yeah, he's breathing. I'm like, why is no one like checking if he's breathing? Like, and I couldn't, like, it was rush hour, literally. I couldn't cross the freaking road to get over there in time without like being in danger myself. So I was like trying as hard as I could to like talk to someone over there. And they were like, yeah, he got hit. They were like, man, I was all the way over there and I heard it. I'm like, you're making it worse for me. I'm like, why is no one attending? And then the cop
it's psychology.
Came up right
it's called, I forget what it's called. It's called,
I mean, they were in shock. Like they were clearly in shock. Like the people surrounding him were clearly.
But it's called crowd mentality or.
Dude, it was super. Like I can understand if it was shock, but if it was whatever, like crowd mentality, that.
No. It's something where like you are just like least likely to even have the urge. It's not like a moral thing. It's like you're least likely to have the urge to help someone if there are a ton of bystanders by the side.
Dude, I was like screaming. I don't think I've ever screamed like that. I was like, and then thankfully the cop strolled up, mind you, I was like, can somebody with some urgency check if this man has a pulse? Like he clearly, I've never seen a dead body. I've never seen a body like that either.
Yeah.
It was so wild to me. And I forget about it all the time actually, like weird that it got brought up. But question about movies. Have you like ever been like super disturbed by a movie? I have two movies.
Saw like those.
Oh, Saw, really?
Like I'm just
queasy?
Disgusting.
Dude.
Like when two people wake up in a room and they have to kill each other, I'm like, I'm disgusted.
Do you remember the premise of the first one? Do you remember the plot twist in the first one?
No.
The freaking dead man. Is this a spoiler? No. Saw's been out for forever.
Oh, yes.
The dead man's actually Saw. He's the guy. There's already a dead person in the room.
Oh yeah,
Dead
I remember
person.
that. I think
Nobody
we watched that in your apartment. Anyways, I'm trying to talk about something a little bit. We have a few minutes left.
Lighter,
a little bit
better.
Yeah,
My bad.
yeah.
My bad. I was gonna go in on this.
No, it got like,
Okay,
oh
okay.
my
It's a
gosh,
little
I'm
too dark.
sweating because there's no AC, but also
I'm actually like chilling.
Oh, really?
Maybe,
That's
maybe
good.
this stuff. I'm
Whoa.
like, I'm actually cool
and I'm
right
actually
now.
fine.
No.
No,
No, just kidding. Happy sunshine. I'm going to Bonnaroo this week.
that's lit. Mm-hmm. That's super lit.
Very excited.
Um,
You're like, enough about that.
do you want to talk about it? We can talk about it.
There's nothing I'm gonna have to talk about.
Okay.
See Kendrick Lamar on his birthday, but that's it.
Something I've noticed in every single one of our podcasts, we say,
What?
"Oh, I just saw a TikTok about that recently," or "I just saw a TikTok." So I've been trying this thing.
Oh God.
I guess it's kind of pretentious, I guess, but like, you don't always have to. Not you, like people. You don't always have to say like, "Oh, I saw a TikTok about this."
Right? You wouldn't be like, I read a book about this the other day.
Yeah.
Actually, no, you would.
Wait, I want to or I would? What'd you say?
I would.
Yeah. I mean, or I saw a meme about this on TikTok, but it was like, you've seen a TikTok about it and you say, oh, I read an article and I learned this or whatever.
Right.
I'm not saying like that, but like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like whether we're talking about something like super emotional or funny or this or that, it's always like, oh, I saw a TikTok that, which is that a problem? I guess not.
I mean, it's just society now.
Right. But I've been trying to in the past couple episodes, if you watch, I don't say a TikTok.
Oh, I say it all the
Oh,
time.
I heard about something the other day. Da da da.
I straight up, I'm like, so
No,
TikTok?
I know. I know.
Well, the thing is, like, I think the reason that maybe we shouldn't as much is because, well, the reason we probably do it is to like add validity to our statement. We're like,
So
okay, if
much
I saw it,
validity.
it's on my. Well, I know, but
Yeah.
like if I saw it, it's on my For You page,
Let's just finish it up.
which means that like somebody else has thought about it, and
Yeah.
like it probably got enough views to be on my For You page. So
Right.
I think it's valid.
Yeah.
I'll stop saying it though now.
No, I mean, not
Take a
stop.
shot
I
every
say it
time I say it.
sometimes if it's like, if the context is necessary, but it's like.
It's never necessary for me. It never
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, that's true. Anyways, interesting.
I'm so concerned that foot has been out. And
I only
you
have
can
one
see it.
sock on, and then this is just my dog's out because
For free?
This is first of all, it's hot in here. I don't want to wear socks, and this is the only foot that you will see on camera. So that's why only one.
Well, anyway.
Anyways, we'll see you guys next time. Next week is episode 20. Elena will be back from
Bonnaroo.
So she'll probably cancel and be sick. And
Not true. That's so weird. Weird behavior.
no, you're
Weird
gonna
to
die.
say.
You're gonna die.
I don't think so.
I hope you have fun, but you will die.
I'm gonna have so much fun. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna see Lil Nas X. It's Pride Month. Shout out.
All right. See you later.
Peace.
Bye.